Yeah, John, I know you were talking about resting players who are injured and that March is the most important. It seems to create a little bit of a dilemma. Do you shrink the rotation, try to win as many games to protect your seed, or do you play more guys to keep fresh legs and maybe you lose some games and you hurt your seeding a little?
Well, the first thing has to be about the players, Daryl. If they need to sit, they need to sit, and then I'll figure it out. It's not resting them. It's that they're not capable of playing at 100%, and why would you do that? To win one more game, to improve your seeding, well, it's about them. And so the decision was not with Ty. My gut said don't play him because, he didn't seem right. And at halftime when I grabbed him, I said, why don't you sit out? Are you okay? I said, listen, if I see you limping at all, I'm taking you out, and that's it. So, these kids want to play so bad, so there are times that as a coach you got to make that decision that's in their best interest for them. Sometimes you got to. And then it's next man up. What if we get in the NCAA tournament and there's, fouls called or a kid turns an ankle or something happens and he's out? What do you just say? Okay, it's done? It's every kid's responsibility to be ready for their opportunity. If they haven't been doing what they're supposed to in practice, if they're listening to everybody tell them it's everybody else and you just haven't played enough and I'm not playing, then you get your chance to play and you fail. You can't, well, they can. I call it delusional. They can blame anybody else, but they're in a position because of that. I think we have a full roster of guys that have practiced. I told you last game, Dante and Bryce, it wasn't fair why I didn't get mad. I haven't played them in a lot of games. But now, all right, you got a chance and you got to help our team win. And so we'll see. I don't know. Haven't been in practice yet, so we could be a couple down, 2 or 3 down. I don't know yet.
John Hale?
Cal, the committee's doing their early bracket reveal tomorrow. How do you think they should evaluate your team because you've had these health issues in so many of these games you've lost?
I don't know. I'm not even thinking about it. What you just said, John, I didn't even know what's going on tomorrow. I mean, we're established who we are. Everybody knows who we are. We got to get healthy and be that team. We got time to get everybody right. Yesterday we practiced live. We went at each other, and I'll be honest with you, some of today I'm going to go live because some guys are going to end up having to play, and I don't want to hear, when you get your chance, you prove you should be playing more. Damian did it last time. Bryce is going to have opportunities, I believe. Unless something plays different. I don't know. But the hardest position to be in is those guys. You don't know if you're going to play enough or at all, but you got to be ready. Hard position. If you know you're playing, you get yourself mentally ready. How about getting yourself mentally ready if you're not playing a whole lot? But, however they do this right now doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, we still have a lot of time left. My concern right now is, all right, we got to get healthy here. Let's see how we do that.
Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, Cal, I wonder if you learned anything about Ty and just the fact that he wanted to go when he maybe wasn't right, and also people were kind of dissecting body language on the bench. I took it as he was probably upset that he couldn't be out there with his guys, but just what did you see in general in what he tried to do?
Well, he wanted to play. He wanted to help his team win. It's hard to do that at 75, 80%. You can't. When you watch what we did, we started the game the way we wanted to start, and I liked where it was going. But his fight to want to win, it's how he plays. He's not worried about stats and you got to do this and you got to do that. He doesn't listen to it. He shuts his phone off. The guys that listen have the weight of the world on them. You got the weight of the world on you. Blame it on whoever you want to blame it on, but He doesn't do that. And, but again, I've got to protect him at times from himself. And his body language, he was mad it happened, not mad at anything else. He knew he couldn't go in because I wasn't going to let him back in. Yeah, he's a great kid. I mean, every day I walk in practice, I leave feeling really good because I'm able to coach. No one's delusional. Everybody knows they're getting coached from top to bottom. We're challenging them. They're challenging each other. We got a veteran group that gets it. There's ups and downs of this stuff. There's injuries. There's other things that play a part in this. Got to play through them. But I would tell you, we've been pretty consistent all year in what we've done, and it's been a climb, a steady climb. And if we had both guards out, you all know we're not the same team. But if anybody else has a couple of their best players out, they're not going to be the same team.
John Wong.
John, you guys were playing so well before the Tennessee game, and you always talk about coaching for March. Do you think there's such a thing as a team peaking too early? And what would you do to try to avoid that? How do you sequence that?
Well, it's not peaking too early. It's okay. Do we have to do this a little bit different to get us moving? And again, I watched the beginning of that game, and I was happy with how the game started. And we were in pretty good shape. And then there was a 10-minute stretch. The second half, we guarded better. So it wasn't like they haven't lost in the building, and they're really good. They're a top 10 team. You lose by whatever it was, 15, 13, 12, whatever it was, and your best guard is not playing. So, no, we practice. Maybe I tweak some things in practice. Maybe I tweak the offense a little bit. But I still have one of those teams, and I say it. We got one of those teams. Let's go. Let's get to the end and see what happens.
John Clay.
John, I know it was only 2 weeks ago that you played Alabama, but are they much different now than they were when you played them down in Tuscaloosa?
Well, they're still going to take 33-point shots. They're a better team because they've got some good wins under their belt. They beat Arkansas. They beat Mississippi State. And they played and fought, and they rebounded. They offensive rebound because there's a lot of long rebounds. And you better guard the three. And even if you guard it, they may make them. So if you're playing a team that shoots 33s and are willing to do that, you have to accept, even if you guard it, they may make 21 night. Then you tap them on the butt and say, we guarded, they were over hands, that we had two hands, we had run-throughs, and they made them. And you move on. But they're a top 25 team, doing good stuff. And, we're going to have to play well.
Daryl Bird, back to you.
Yeah, John, you guys beat the daylights out of Tennessee with a crazy atmosphere at Rupp Arena. They kind of returned the favor. The atmosphere was nuts in Knoxville. It was nuts in Auburn. You get that little extra energy boost. Where do you get that when you get to March, when it's more closer allowed to a neutral court? Where does the energy come from?
Well, what happens is, as you know, I like playing neutral court games to prepare you for the NCAA tournament, and we've had a few of those. But the biggest thing is we have to be ready every game. And in that tournament, and you can't be afraid, you have to be humble yet hungry, you can't fear anybody. And we face that over and over and over. When we get in March, we're used to it. We've played against every kind of team. This team played a box and one the other night. May do that against us. Good. What would we do if someone did that to us? So, it's the season prepares us for March. Now, we played 6 of our last 9 games on the road. 6 of our last 9. And we were like unpacking. I mean, the stuff was crazy. And we survived it. But it doesn't get any easier. Our last games, 4 of them are in the top 5 in our league. Now, I don't know of anybody's schedule because I haven't looked at it, but I would doubt that anybody had this kind of schedule left. So we have Murder's Row coming up and going to have to play well. They're all games that are going to be really, really hard to win.
Aaron, go ahead.
John, outside of Oscar talked about working on his perimeter defense. Did you see something outside of size that happened against Tennessee that allowed them to score on him a little? And what are some of the things he needs to adjust?
He didn't take pride in it. And I told him and I showed him and the team saw it. I mean, you wanted someone to help. You never got down in the stance. You never moved your feet. You never stayed in front. You just let him do whatever he wanted to do. Take pride in it. I want Oscar to start again playing like he has something to prove. Play like you have something to prove. Total desperation, whether it be offense, defense, rebounding, running the floor, and then sub yourself. Sub yourself when you're not ready. But he takes it. I mean, I was on him. He responds to it. Never, not a word. You know, and I like the fact on this team our best players can be coached and be coached hard. Coaching hard means you're telling the truth. You keep it real. And all players say, Coach, I want you to keep it real. Just not with me. With everybody else, keep it real. And keeping it real doesn't mean you're cussing, kicking, punching. You're looking right at their eyes and telling them the truth. Their legs start moving, their eyes start moving, and yeah, you're getting coached. Someone may watch. If they know you care enough about them, they're fine. I'm Italian. I'll scream and yell sometimes. I've had players scream and yell at me. I don't throw them out and go crazy. I'm like, shoot, I'm screaming and yelling, they're screaming and yelling. Let's just try to win this game. So, you know, we're holding them all accountable. But I'll say this, what a great group of guys to coach. And I don't know how we're going to finish the regular season. I don't know because of the schedule, because of it. I don't know. But I'll tell you, going into March, this is a team I want to coach. Let's go. Let's line it up. Let's throw it up. And let's go.
We'll take two more, Jerry and then Kyle.
John, earlier, Davion said you guys needed a wake-up call, and he saw value in the Tennessee game in that way. How does that strike you?
I hope he's right. You know, maybe I needed a wake-up call because not only did they get outplayed, I got outcoached. Kind of knew what he would do. I told Tom, I said, Tom, they're going to grind it. They're going to run if they can and try to get a layup, and then they're going to grind it, and they're going to screen and knock people down on every screen. Move, hit, and they did. And they moved the ball, and they created a shot for each other, and they made shots. I watched the tape. We had a bunch of open shots. We missed. Just missed them. Well, in those kind of games, you got to make shots. You got to have the courage to stand up there. I'm going to make a shot and want to be that guy shooting the ball. Early in the game, man, it was a machine. Here we come, both defensively and offensively. I like what I saw. And then it kind of went away. Now, whether it was we needed a wake-up call, as some of the guys would say, or they were just better than us on that night.
Finish us off, Kyle.
Yeah, Cal, you were answered a lot of this about Oscar, I think, in your earlier answer. But on the offensive end, at times he has struggled with length, with some guys that kind of tower over him. What's your overriding message when he's facing somebody like that in terms of trying to score? He's had some rough finishes around
Well,
the rim.
most of it, Kyle, is that he has too much respect for the other guy. And when he doesn't, like the 6'10", 6'11 guy that he does not, he's played against him. I know I'm better than him. All of a sudden he pivots, he ball fakes, he pivots, and all of a sudden, and then if it's a guy he didn't play against, like, why are you respecting this guy? He's not as good as you. Like, why do you, it's almost like you think he's better than he thinks he is. So some of it's him. Other times, you know, you got guys that are physically, that's getting them more than anything. When there's supposed to be airspace above you. So if a guy goes like this over top of you, he's in your airspace. That's a foul. Those plays bother him. You may say, well, that guy's too big. He can't be over top of him like that. You can't go like that when he goes to shoot. That is a foul, or it is in the rule book. And so that gets him more than a 7-footer or a 6'11". I mean, if he knows, look, I can score on this guy, he goes and scores.